hope that you are all doing well. Thank you so much for joining me here today, where we are going to talk about melting points. And we have done a little bit with melting points in the past. I just want to talk a little bit more about them today and use the example of something we're all pretty familiar with, and that's chocolate. So, a melting point is the temperature at which something will go from being a solid to being a liquid. And some common items and their melting point. So iron's melting point is 2,800 degrees Fahrenheit or 1,538 degrees Celsius. Aluminum's melting point is 1,221 degrees Fahrenheit or 660.3 degrees Celsius. So obviously the melting point of chocolate is going to be less than that. If we have like a Jolly Rancher candy, the melting point of that is 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 177 degrees Celsius. And the melting point of chocolate, and because there's different kinds of chocolate, this will be a range. The melting point of chocolate is from 86 to 96 degrees Fahrenheit or about 46 degrees Celsius. So I've got a small piece of chocolate, I've got a Jolly Rancher candy. I'm going to put each of those in my hands. So the chocolate, after 30 seconds, is already melting. The Jolly Rancher is getting sticky, but it's not melting to the degree that the chocolate is. And that's because the melting point of chocolate is lower than the melting point of the Jolly Rancher candy. Because the melting point of the chocolate is so low, there are some fun things we can do with. So this pile is about 1.2 ounces of chocolate. I am going to pour about 6 ounces of oat milk, you can use any kind of milk you want, into that cup. I'm going to warm it up, and because it doesn't have to be that warm, I'm not going to heat it to boiling. So we're going to check the temperature. We're at about 100 degrees. We're going to pour the chocolate in. And stir. And because the melting point of the chocolate, and this is a dark chocolate, so it's probably right around 96 degrees, is 96 degrees, even though we didn't get this up to boiling. Chocolate is all melting in there. And so we've got hot cocoa without having to worry about burning ourselves, because the milk doesn't have to be that hot. So our second delicious treat involves toast. So I have toasted a baguette, dark, but I'm okay with that. So we're going to take that second pile of pieces of chocolate we had, and we're just going to set those on top. And you don't need a lot. So you want to get a bread that you really like. I'm a big fan of baguettes, so I've got a baguette. And you want to cut the chocolate into little pieces. In fact, some of that might be a little too big, but we're going to go with it. Give it a little time to sit there. After a couple delicious minutes, you just spread your chocolate on there. I'm a big fan of chocolate bread. So that's really delicious. The thing with the chocolate being at its melting point is that it's actually more flavorful at that temperature. So you get a bigger burst of flavor, and you don't have to eat as much chocolate to get the same chocolatey satisfaction. I hope that you enjoyed this look at melting points, and especially the melting point of chocolate. I hope that you'll give it a try sometime. I actually got this idea for the chocolate bread from a cookbook I have. Apparently, a lot of families in France do that as an after-school snack for their kids when they come home from school. And so I thought I'd give it a try one day, and it's actually very delicious. It sounds not as good, but if you have a good bread and good chocolate, it's wonderful. So thank you so much for joining me here today. We will return with more Explore and Create. Thank you so much for spending time with me this year. I really appreciate it. I hope that you have had fun. And I hope that you continue to use your curiosity to explore the world and your creativity to improve it. And thank you.